Sharks under Paris? Well, if you are a bit familiar with my channel, you know I couldn't resist that premise, especially as the effects looked kinda solid. So will this be a schlockfest, a serious movie or something in between? Hi there, it's Micha. Join me and I will share my 2 cents on it. Sophia, a marine biologist, and her team are looking for Lilith, a mako shark they previously tagged, to follow up on some research. But the shark returns much larger than it should be, accompanied by a pack, which is totally out of the ordinary for that species. As her husband tries to take a blood sample, he and the whole team are attacked and killed. While Sophie is dragged under by Lilith, surviving the ordeal but heavily injured due to the severe pressure changes. 3 years later, she is approached by Mika, the leader of a group of environmentalists who are tracking sharks all over the world to switch off their beacons whenever poachers are getting too close to them. Those sharks include Lilith, who now apparently is located in the Seine, right under Paris. While the group believes the shark to be trapped and wants to help, Sophia don't want to get near that fish again. After a man was found dead, the police got involved. Of course not believing a word at first, but soon joining forces with Sophia to track that creature. However, believing the cops want to kill that shark, Mika has her team deactivate its beacon, which almost cost the 3 divers their lives. After having verified the shark's existence in the river, the cops head to the city's officials. But the mayor doesn't want to close the Seine, because the 2024 Olympics are about to happen, with a triathlon including a swim in the river, so the team has to figure out how to catch the animal and secure the Seine. But there is even more at risk, as they discover that Lilith evolved into a new species.
Ce sont les capteurs qui leur permettent de s'adapter à la salinité de l'eau. Et tu vois cette petite excroissance là? Ça montre qu'ils se sont adaptés à l'eau tous. C'est pas normal. Elle est pleine alors qu'elle est même pas arrivée à maturité sexuelle. Lilith se reproduit par parthénogenèse.
C'est-à-dire?
C'est-à-dire qu'elle a pas besoin de mâle. Lilith est la première d'une toute nouvelle espèce. Si on ne les élimine pas, ils vont continuer à se reproduire et coloniser les océans à l'infini.
And she already produced hundreds of offsprings. A huge shiver of sharks, which only uses the Seine as quiet breeding grounds, like salmon do. If they all make it back to the ocean, this species will dominate every piece of water on Earth. So they need to be eradicated. Will they be able to do this, or will the sharks end up ruling the world? What will happen to Mika and her group of environmentalists? Will they create additional problems? Will the Olympic swimmers be safe or become shark chum? Check out this movie if you like to find out. Let's start by saying that the technical aspects, including the special effects, are really solid in this Netflix original movie. The acting is also pretty convincing, which surprised me as I expected the whole film to be campier than it turned out to be, as it took the whole premise seriously and the acting followed suit. It still serves up many trashy moments, either by design or involuntary, but largely tries to play it as a straight homage to Jaws, even down to the mayor who refuses to close off the water. This nameless mayor, played by a woman, is clearly meant to be Anne Hidalgo, the real-life mayor of Paris. I could imagine that she would literally rather deal with sharks than her actual situation, which is the cleanliness of a river and the fact that she is so unpopular due to the events leading up to the Olympics that after she promised to swim in the Seine to prove it is safe, groups of Parisians swore to poop into the river that very day, even posting charts online to calculate when they have to do that so that their feces would reach the right spot at the exact moment of her publicity stunt. But back to the movie. It was plenty entertaining, though I think it ended up taking itself a bit too serious. It also had a bit of a weird message, as Sophia's team died trying to research and protect sharks, and the main environmentalist basically turned out to be the bad guy of a movie. Besides the mayor, of course. I mean, I love animals, but I would not sacrifice a human life to protect one. The cops whose life Mika risked were not even equipped with deadly weapons. They were just verifying that there is actually a shark. Mika later even puts her whole team in danger and really does everything in her power so that the viewer will despise her. To the point of actual hate. Seldomly have I rooted so hard for a character to be eaten by a shark as for this one. If that happens, I will not spoil though. The movie even got to the point where the whole new shark species would have to be eliminated to protect humanity and Earth, which again is a weird message. Maybe I shouldn't look for a message in a genre film like this, but as this one doesn't deep dive into its campiness, I ended up doing exactly that. The end, which I will not spoil, also seemed a bit far-fetched, but it isn't a deal breaker. Would be curious though to see if they try to set up a sequel that way or not. One last call out. The international English title is Under Paris, while the original French title is Sous la Seine, meaning Under the Seine, which feels like a little bit of an insult on Netflix end, suggesting that most English speaker wouldn't know that the Seine is a river running through Paris. Apparently they seem to think that fellow Europeans wouldn't have that issue, as the German title translates to In the Waters of the Seine, with similar titles for its release in Spain, Poland and so on. And with that being said, let's get to the rating. The movie is a bit of a mixed bag. It takes itself too seriously to play it as a self-aware guilty pleasure, but is not straight enough in nature to be considered truly serious. Still works well enough, it just feels a bit undecided. There are also some questionable things, like how the environmentalists are able to hack into the beacons to switch them off, and some scientifically questionable conclusions, but nothing too distracting. It is an entertaining watch for sure, though there is plenty of room for improvement, so I'm going with 6.5 out of 10 points for this movie. If you like shark movies, it will clearly be worth your time. If a movie needs to be either totally straight or completely campy for you and a mix just doesn't work, then better skip this one. What about you? Have you seen it and agree? Or do you think it is straight enough and can be taken totally seriously? Would you be interested in watching it after this overview? Whatever you like to share, let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, feel free to like, share or subscribe. So much for now, see you next time and thanks for watching. Sophia, a marine biologist with the triathlon, but largely tries to play it as a straight homage to sharks, to Jaws. How the environmentalists are able to hack into the beacons to switch them off.